So yes, what you're saying is hashtag bring our gods home. And I thought I'd show a dedication slide first. My work and work of my team is dedicated to the artists and sculptors who created these magnificent works of art, the kings and chieftains who actually sponsored their lives, and to people like you and me, commoners who continue to appreciate them. Why we do that is basically this. You can actually see how, in what state our murtis are mutilated and transported. So roughly this was done a few years back, and you can actually see what's happened in terms of India's successes. As I told you in the past, there was nothing till 70s, from 70s to 2000. It was very limited, and then you see a big blip. So what's happened is what we do. So we work on restitution, we build awareness, we act as a deterrent to theft, we influence policy, and we also work in capacity building. What does bring our gods home mean? I wanted to show you this. So this was a theft that happened in a temple in Tamil Nadu, 1978. These four murtis were stolen: Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, and Hanuman. We tracked it. So 1978, 88, 98, 2008, 2018. So after 42 years, this happened. We found it with a dealer for sale in London in 2016. We tracked. This case was registered and then closed in 1978. It was not even as an open case. Stylistically, we matched with the belt. We tracked any temple on that way. Sadly, this temple was now called Hanuman Temple because the Rama as the main deity was forgotten, because the deity was not there anymore. Because they had another Hanuman, which was a much larger Hanuman that was not smuggled or theft. So we couldn't find it in the first 2 years. In 2018, we managed to find it, and we successfully worked with the Indian High Commission and the Metropolitan Police. August 15th of 2019-18, this happened. Then you can actually see these murtis. After our evidence was presented to the dealer, he quietly handed it over back to the High Commission, and this is them being their gods back in the High Commission. And this is what happened when they went back for worship. So currently we go to the temple Anandamangalam. They are back to being the deities that they were once destined to be after 42 years. They are, you can smell the incense, they can smell the camphor, and they have gone back to being the gods they once were. We're sadly waiting for the Hanuman to come back from Singapore. So it's still ongoing process. So as I explained to you, these are the UN statuettes. These are long slides. So this is how our gods are destined to be back home. And then my book actually starts with this chapter of buried hoards. So, in the early 14th century, there was an invasion by iconoclasts, and a lot of our murtis were melted and broken. So our ancestors actually buried them for safekeeping, and they planned to bring them back to worship after the threat went off. But sadly, either they were killed or driven away. And today, all over India, you get these buried hoards. Every week we get these, and these are sadly targeted by the smugglers. So this is one such instance of a Nataraja that was found about 2.5 years ago. And I just wanted to show that he's been buried for 600 years. The villagers have just bought him out, and he's already become the god that he once was. You look at what's happening here is actually an auction in New York, where our murtis are being paraded as showpiece curios, and people are actually posing. This is a dealer who's recently deceased in Bangkok, his apartment. That's this party. There you can see all our murtis there. And this is another collector who's there. You can see our gods being in the swimming pools. So you can actually see them. So the enormity of our gods. So there's a lot of things that happen. Robbers actually break the legs off to cut them off. They deliberately break objects for sale and then put them back through restorers. They cut off their heads, make them head hunters. So a lot of things happen. So this was a Varaha that was smuggled currently in Switzerland. You can actually see this is the Vamangia gang. That so we've listed this as the most wanted object, 10 most important objects that required world over. Hopefully this Varaha will come back. So this is what we're trying to do. When the buying stops, the looting stops, and that's what we want to be. A lot of such work is happening. This is currently in Denver. It's a Shalabanjika where we've done. So this is the kind of matching work that we provide. So despite all this evidence for the last 7 years, the Denver Museum has not returned this artifact. 2014, this happened in Karnataka. You can actually see what's happened. So these Saravanjika. So this is a theft that keeps happening because the market is still buying, and the robbers stuck. How big was the loot? So this was the storage locations I talked about. These are the objects that were found in Subhash Kapoor's warehouses. Over 850 crore rupees worth of stuff seized, including, I
My
think
God.
that's an Indus seal and Indo-Gangetic anthropomorphic form, and we did not see it once, we've seen many. So totally there were 2,622 objects seized. A lot of things. He was in business for 35 years. We're waiting for this actually to come back. When she comes back, she'll be the most expensive trafficked object in the world. She's from Barhut, was planning to be sold for $15 million. She was cut into 3 portions for export and stitched back by a restorer in America. He's currently behind bars by Homeland Security. Recent successes this year, what you're seeing is all that we've recovered back. This was a goated yakshi from Lokahari, UP, found in a garden outside London. So the owner reverted to a friend of ours, and the guy said, looks like an Indian statue. Yes, indeed it was. We worked on a book by Vidya Daija, and she was handed over to the Indian High Commission early part of this year. We also worked on a lot of cases, as I told you, how we work. We got inputs from a retired AS officer that these were stolen from Nalanda. We worked with our counterparts in Italy. They were visiting an art fair. Meantime, we tracked this to the LACMA. The LACMA handed it over 2 years ago to India. But we also found a dealer in London trying to sell this Buddha from the same. So this was stolen in 1961, and we tracked it to a sale in 2018. And on August 15, this happened. We made the matching, they disputed our claim, everything happened. And on August 15, 2018, this happened. This Buddha was handed over back to India, and he's currently back. A lot of such cases are happening. Gods are coming back home. This is from Ball State in the US. So the restorers are also, so imagine in this condition, a buried bronze hoard was exported, smuggled out of India, went to London. The London restorer cleaned it, made it a new leg. So this restorer was charged, named in my book, Neil Perry Smith. He's now been extradited to America early last year. He's currently facing sentence there. So we work a lot. We work with school children to build awareness on heritage campaigns. We work with volunteers. So what can volunteers do? We don't ask for any cash donations. For the last 17 years, we've not taken a dollar or cent from anybody. We don't do any awards or rewards. We ask them to send us catalogs. If they can buy catalogs, buy it, but scan it to us so that the book or the catalog is with them. We let people report finds. So as and when buried hoards are coming up, people are sending it out, tweeting to us. Thefts also, they're reporting to us either openly or in confidence. Auction house catalogs are coming to us. We build a knowledge base and we determine the archive. For example, this was a image that is currently of a bronze that is in Singapore. This we found a reference in a 1916 book. With this, we managed to track this temple was ruined. It was not even in the ASI or state archaeology site. We managed to find the temple via social media. It was ruined, but now it's been taken over. It's a state monument now. And we put up this board saying, find out. So these are the villagers who helped us restore it back. We're waiting for the gods to come back. So we worked a lot of such cases. So that's the book. It's been translated to Marathi, Hindi, Tamil, English, of course, and Malayalam. So yeah. So this is my villain, Subhash Kapoor. Incidentally, the 2 bronzes behind him are from a temple called Suttamalli, where when he was in Interpol custody in Germany, wrote a note to his manager, girlfriend, sister in New York saying, hide the bronzes. This is says hidden these 2 bronzes and 2 more bronzes valued at $18.5 million. She's out on a $10,000 bail for the last 7 years, or rather almost now 9 years. We are not able to find these 4 bronzes still. This was another case where this Nataraja's hand was cut. They thought it was made of gold. They sawed it, melted it. The jeweler who melted it said there's no gold. So the robbers actually killed him in 2005. There's a murder case. But this Nataraja in this hand cut condition went to Nepal, from Nepal to London. In London, the restorer Neil Perry Smith made him a new hand. He appeared on Subhash Kapoor's catalog. And then quietly, a month before he was arrested, this Nataraja came back to Chennai and was quietly handed over to the police. They wanted to close the case. So without a visa, passport, permit, this Nataraja went on a global tour and come back. He's now gone back to worship. So these are technology. So nowadays, earlier days, I told you people used to come to India, pick objects for sale. Now these are robber offering photos that we've cracked from Kapoor's phone and files. You can actually see that's a veshti or a dhoti behind the Dwarapalas, that's a lungi behind these. So these are actually robbers sending photos immediately after the theft, and then an open bidding happens on social media. And we use these to crack. So this is my first success, the Ardhanari stolen from Vrudachalam for the National Theatre of South Australia. National Theatre of New South Wales. So they had made a replica, the fake was in the temple. And in 2014, the Australian Prime Minister brought this sculpture back and gave it to Prime Minister Modi. So based on that, there was a book by the French Institute in Pondicherry, as I said, their work. So this book, we tracked another Samanda who was stolen in 1967. And we tracked it. And 3 months ago, we had the good fortune of giving it back to the priest. So he's 75 years old, and this was stolen during his father's time. So in fact, I was there when the handover happened, and you can actually see him receiving the DT.
It's amazing.
So that's what I meant by saying receiving returning gods. So a lot of work
Right.
currently in progress. This was a 5 million Nataraja that came back, taken from and kept in the same place. This is how the temple was renovated to receive the god. It was in a ruined state, lost its bronzes, but when the Nataraja came back, it became like this. His consort was in Singapore. We managed to get them back as well. The Ganesha from the same temple was brought back from Toledo Museum in Ohio. Again, thanks to volunteers, we got a photograph, we matched it. So a lot of such stuff. These were all gifts. The Kapoor had gifted in the same year he sold his Ganesha to the Toledo Museum. He had gifted almost $500,000 worth of Chandraketugara antiquities to the museum. So they're also coming back. This is a Nataraja that we brought back from Australia again. This was the most recent success where in a temple in Punenallur, this was stolen in 1971. Volunteer reached out to us to say it was stolen. We managed to find an old photograph. We matched it to the Asia Society Museum, and this is the matching work that we do. Again, Murtis inspecting it when it was handed over to India. There, he's gone back to worship. This is the Punenallur temple outskirts of Tanjavur. The Nataraja has gone back for worship after being stolen in 1971. So we worked, so we just not bring back Hindu deities, we brought back. So this happened early this year in February. We tracked this Buddha in Milan. This again handed over to the embassy in Milan. This was a Hanuman that I tracked to a Christie sale in New York, sold to an Australian diplomat. Again, got back from Australia. This is a match. This is the French Institute archive. This was the image. I matched it to the sale and with a lot of matches. A lot of such are happening, work in progress. So this was Varuna Mitra from Orissa that we tracked, handed over to Paris office. So we need to reopen a lot of cases. We also working on this Buddha from an old book. So in essence, this is what is our request to all and sundry. A Central Arts Crime Squad, we are doing this work pro bono in our free time. It's high time the India takes this on, created a national archive, tougher national laws. We don't even have a section in our IPC for heritage crimes. We are only trying them under housebreaking theft. We are trying to build a citizen-led archive, engage with local communities for anti-theft measures, collaboration on image recognition, web crawlers, scientific institutions, and national laws registry. We have to reopen old cases because a lot of these cases have been closed, saying accused. So we catch a few petty thieves, put the cases on them because police stations are judged on open FIRs and they say idol is not found. So we want the center to reopen any such cases where, even though convictions might have happened, if the idols are not found, to build it up. Capacity building, and then whistleblowers and finders. And we also do this similar work for Nepal. I sit on a committee called the Nepal Heritage Recovery Committee. We are doing something in Nepal called the Nepal Pride Project. We are starting Sri Lanka shortly, the Sri Lanka Pride Project. We brought back objects to Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal. And this happened early part of this year. So this was Lakshmi Narayan statue that was back. So he is actually going back to the site from where he was stolen. So this is the actual installation that has happening. So they're going back, and this is what happened. So this was stolen in the 60s, and you can see the DT has gone back to worship. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. So this is some of our work.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this.
I hope you've enjoyed this talk today. Please do share your thoughts with us on this topic in the comment section below this video itself. And of course, do hit the like button if you liked it. You can also share this video with your friends and family to let them also know about this issue. Also, do subscribe to our channel. That just helps us grow. It doesn't cost you anything, of course. Thank you so much for joining us today. Namaste. Please click on the like button on YouTube and wherever else you are watching us from to help others find this video as well. Also, subscribe to the channel to help us bring you more such content. IHA now accepts content contributions, and if you would like to support our work with paid promotions or sponsorships, please email us for further information.